Okay, and then we've now got the French grey 30%. I'm just going to pretty much cover the whole area again. So I'm making sure I've got the right direction of the fur as well. So it's coming over and round here. And I'm wondering if a cotton bud, I've just got an ordinary cotton bud here. I'm not sure if I've got enough layers on, but I just thought I might blend it a bit nicer. Probably need another layer or two for that to work. I think it's helping a little bit. Just helps soften things, and then you can obviously put the details back on over the top. Okay, let's add a bit more darker around this area now. So I've got the warm grey 6. I've got some little darker markings coming on down here. And then this darker area under the eye, we can put that over the top of what we've just done now. I've now got the black. I'm just going to darken some of these markings up. They're not exactly like the photo, I'll be honest. But obviously I am following the reference photo, so it's very similar, but yeah. I'm not one of these that copies it exactly. Obviously if it's a commission you need to be a bit more precise with it all, but this isn't a commission, so what I will do with this black area here is add the Derwent drawing just to darken that up. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. I think what would be nice to do now is lighten some areas up where needed. Now I tried the aqua white, so I've got that one, but I also thought I would try the Luminance white actually as well. I was trying to look for a white Holbein pencil, but I'm not sure if I have one, because they're really good to blend with on this paper, and I can use the cotton bud, if that makes sense. They blend nicer. So I'm experimenting, you could say, with different whites to see what works well. So this is the white Luminance. Again, this is another good white pencil. We can work light over dark, so as you can see it's coming through quite nicely. Now we've got a few layers down. We can get some white fur in where we need to. I think the white Luminance is working quite well actually. I'm going to put a bit of that in on the top of his eye. We can always tone it down a bit if we need to. Let's try and blend that top bit with the cotton pad, which I seem to have lost already. Here it is. I've got a clean cotton bud tip. Okay, and then what we do is let's get the I've got the French grey 10% here, and I'm just going to go over the beginning of the white pencil that I've just put down, just so it all merges together nicely and there's no stop and starts with different colours. It just flows a bit better and looks a bit more natural. I'm going to put some of that at the front of his head as well. Okay, let's go back to the Luminance white. I'm just going to put some lighter hairs coming through, not too much, but dog's snoring now. So I'm now going to go back to the French Grey 30 again. Just get this area finished up. Put a bit more of that up here. That's better. Okay, and I am going to go back to the black just to darken this up because I want to put some lighter fur over the top. So I'm just going back and forth, putting a bit more pressure on just to get the darkness in. That's worked quite well. That's it. And while I think about it, I'm going to get the warm grey one back because we've got a little bit of white fur at the back here, so I'm just going to put that in now. Okay, I think what I'm going to do now, we used this yesterday, the white aqua. I think that would be a good one to use again, just coming over the dark because it's quite a thin pencil. Just take some hairs over the black here. But now we've got a few layers on, hopefully you can see that you know, you can really put white over light over dark quite easily, even on coloured paper. And some whites are better than others. I'll flick off a few more there. And I'm going to be brave. We've got a couple of like whiskers coming off here. Okay, I think what I'll do now is move on to the ear, this very floppy cute ear. Let's have a look. I'm going to get the inside of the ear lined. So I've got the caput mortuum. I'm just going to use this to get the shape of the ear. So this is the middle bit I'm just putting in, just so we know where we are. So that's the top part of the ear. space in. Okay, that's good. I think what we do now is go back to the warm grey one. We'll start working on the outside of the ear. We've got a two-tone ear with the blacks, greys. So might be a good idea actually to put the darker in first. I'm going to go back to the cold grey. Now let's go back to the warm grey 6. If I can find it, here we are. It's in an extender, that's why. So I've got the warm grey 6, and I'm just going to sketch in the darker little colours he's got, the marking, sorry. It's always good to try and make it as easy as you can on yourself. Warm grey 6, so I just need to take this up a bit higher. That's better. So now we've mapped out where everything is. I'm going to make this darker in here, inside the ear, and then we work our way out. I'm going to go with let's have a look. I'm going to go with the warm grey 5, just to darken it up. Okay, I think I'm going to go with the caput mortuum violet now. I've got the dark sepia now, and I thought it might just darken up some of the areas inside the ear, but I didn't want to go in just with the black. Just gives it a bit more depth there. I'm just going to outline the top bit of the ear a bit more. Okay, let's go to the warm grey 1. I can now do this bottom bit a bit better now. I'm just going to get my rubber out again, my mono rubber or Tombow. I'm going to take a bit of that out, a bit too much there. That's it, and then I just want to take some of this out here. Okay, get that little brush off, that's it. That's better. Okay, so now we've got an ear, we just need to tighten up the details and darken it up. Just going to bring that down the side here. It's quite dark that side. And it's sort of coming over at an angle here like this. Just darken up around the bottom here a little bit, so I'm going into the lighter fur just to make it look like it's under the fur at the front here. Darken this up down the bottom here as well. Okay, and then let's move over here. I'm quite pleased with that. And then what we do, let's try, I was going to suggest the white Pablo, but I think I might go with the aqua white pencil, the Caran. And let's just put in some lighter fur here and there. Not too much, but just enough. I'm quite pleased with that little ear. Didn't take too much to put in. I'm going to go over to the white Pablo and I'm just going to do the odd strand coming over. That's it. I think that's pretty much it for the ear.